Six Feet Under are one of my favorite bands. They're one of my favorite death metal bands. I think they actually are my favorite death metal band. Yeah, fucking sue me. But anyway, this is very simple. We're just going to be ranking the albums of Six Feet Under. The tiers we have are S, A, B, C, D, E, and then F for fucked. Now let's get to the first album, Haunted. I gotta tell you, fucking S tier, baby. I know a lot of people have said this already. A lot of people have um, expressed their praise for this album, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This album's fantastic. What makes this album so fucking good is that one, Chris's voice hasn't gone to shit yet. It still sounds fucking amazing. That's two fingers. Second, while the production is not the best, it still works for what it is and this kind of groove death metal type shit. And I like it, you know. It's up there with 1995 death metal albums. 1995 was a great year for death metal, and this is one of the albums that I think helped it become that great of a year, you know? Alright, second album, Warpath. Uh, between B and C, honestly. I might have to go. I'm gonna go B tier, but it's at like the bottom of B tier. Here's why. Production is a step up. I do like the production on this album way more than the first one. However, the songwriting is significantly less interesting, and Chris's voice is not as good as it is on the first album, like by a long shot. And really, I think by this time they were starting to become kind of a obituary copy, and that's not a good thing. And to be honest, this album's too fucking long. I think it should have been a little bit shorter, which is going to be a trend we'll see in other Six Feet Under albums. Now, Maximum Violence, on the other hand, fucking A tier. Love this album. It's not S tier simply because I think it's just not there yet on the level of Haunted, but you know, it's still a great fucking record. A lot of killer tracks on here. You have fucking Feasting on the Bloody of the Insane, fucking insane opener. And then you have Torture Killer, all of them songs. What I think makes this album great is the guitar tone. I think the guitar tone really nails in that brutal sound, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of sound. So I put an A tier. Alright, True Carnage. I liked this album significantly less on re listen my second time around. It's between E and D, honestly. I don't think it's F tier. I'm gonna put it in E. Here's why. The production is not bad, but it's a major step down from Maximum Violence. And this is probably the most fucking boring Six Feet Under album in the bunch. If I'm gonna be honest, it just does not hit at all. It's just meandering fucking bullshit. There are like two songs I like on this album. One of them being surprisingly the Ice-T collaboration with One Bullet Left. And I also like Knife Gun Axe. That's a good song. But the rest of the songs are so fucking boring, and I honestly never want to listen to this album again. So it's an E tier for now. Bringer of Blood is fucked. I hate this album. Hate it. The production is not bad. That's probably actually the only good thing about it. But the songwriting is probably the most childish fucking songwriting I've heard in a band ever. Chris's vocals are off the deep end at this point. They're just fucking gone. Loads of bad tracks on this album. There's one that I actually kind of like. Actually, there's two. The title track and the first song I can't remember the fucking name of. But that song's good. But fucking so many songs in here are ass, especially fucking America the Brutal. And then the last track is so bad. First 3 minutes are your standard 6 feet under affair, and then it's 4 minutes of straight silence. And honestly, I've never wanted to click off a song more than listening to that bullshit. So yeah, this album sucks. Don't listen to it, please. 13. 13. I have very mixed feelings on 13. I'm gonna give it a B because it's not a bad album, actually. On second thought, I'm gonna put it in C because There are a lot of good songs on this album. However, for the life of me, no matter how many times I've listened to this album, I think I've listened to it like 6 fucking times. I just cannot remember anything about it. Like what the songs sound like, what the lyrics are. I cannot remember a damn thing about it. And, that sucks. Because there is good songs on this album. Shadow of the Reaper being my favorite. I love Shadow of the Reaper. It's one of my favorite 6 Feet Under songs. And really fun to play on guitar. If I had my guitar right here, but I don't have it. What I like about 13 is just how simple it is. And normally simplicity is not a good thing for this band, but especially for death metal. However, I think this album pulls off simplistic death metal very well. It executes it brilliantly. Chris's vocals are way better than they were on Bringer of Blood. And it's just a nice little comfort album, I would say. Commandment, I think, is a step ahead of 13 for me. Just because I love the production on this album. The drums are fucking powerful. They hit. The guitars are a little muddy, but I think that works to the benefit. Chris's vocals, honestly, might be a little bit of a drawback to this album. Just a little bit. But they're not, like, terrible, in my opinion. Other than that, it's mostly your standard 6 Feet Under affair. Ghost of the Undead is probably my favorite track. Other than that, you know, you'll like it while you're listening to it. But you're not gonna love it. Oh boy, fucking Death Rituals. I have a very personal grudge against this album, and I'm gonna put it in fucking D tier. Here's why. The first time I listened to this album all the way through, I got a headache. I got a fucking headache from listening to this album because I don't know what it is. I think it's the length, honestly. The length of this album is ridiculous. It's like nearly 50 goddamn minutes, and it does not need to fucking be that long. Another thing about this album is it tries to be way too serious, I would say. It's like it's trying to be more than what it really is. Like it has these different tracks that are just like ambience. And for 6 Feet Under, I don't think that's a good thing at all. I think they should just stick to straightforward, punchy, like groovy songs. That's what I think they should stick for. There are some good songs on here. Seed of Filth and Shot in the Head are probably my favorite. Production's very good, I will admit. Production's actually pretty fucking nice for a death metal album. However, it just doesn't justify how long this album is and how you're like, oh, god damn it, just get the album over with. Finally, we're at the good albums. Undead, baby. Fucking S tier. Love this album. If I could put it in like a double S tier, I would do that. Because, god damn it, this album is just so nice. Production is S tier. The riffs are S tier. This album has fucking Rob Arnold, dude. Rob Arnold. I could listen to this album millions of times and never get tired of it. Chris's vocals, while they are not great, still work wonderfully well for what this album is. Honestly, I wish 6 Feet Under would make more albums like this. I really do, because, man, they just don't make them like they used to anymore. Every song on here is a banger. You have the killer opener, Frozen at the Moment of Death, Formaldehyde, probably one of my favorite tracks off this album. You have Vampire Apocalypse, Delayed Combustion Device. So many killer tracks, man. Literally all the songs are fucking nice. Just nice to listen to. So yeah, S tier, definitely in the top 3. Too bad, we gotta move on to the top 1, which is fucking Unborn. My favorite 6 Feet Under album. And I don't think it would ever be top. The production on this is perfect. It's perfect metal production, in my opinion. This is what most metal albums should sound like. Because it's still like raw, it still has that edge to it, but it still like has body and it's clean. Whoops. And it sounds nice to listen to. Oh man, it just. And of course, all the songs on here are a banger. Killer Closer with Curse of the Ancients, Psychosis, killer riffage, honestly. My favorite song on here is probably either Neuroosmosis or Decapitate. I love those 2 songs, just killer. And Chris's voice, while I don't think it's ever going to be good again, it still works. So yeah, one of my favorite albums of all time, like probably honestly in my top 10 albums of all time. All right, Crypt of the Devil, A tier. I liked this album much more on re-listen. I used to fucking hate this album. Now I'm like, you know what? This kind of hits. And I think that was me being stupid, honestly, because yeah, this album's fucking good. So many good tracks on here. You have fucking Slit Wrists, Open Coffin Orgy, you know, all those songs. Production is not as good as Unborn. It takes a step down for me. But I do like the presence of bass in this album. You can hear the bass really well. And I do like that. Other than that, yeah. It's just an A tier album for me. I enjoyed listening to it, and I come back to it often. Torment. Give me a second. Torment's going in the fucking pain in the ass dog shit tier. Honestly, it's one of my least favorite albums ever fucking made. I just don't understand it. Why they continue with the long albums. Because guess what? This is another over 45-minute album. I don't understand why they keep doing long albums, but here we are. Production is ass. I don't care who you are. Production is ass. None of the songs are good. Way too long, like I just said. Only song I kind of liked is the first track, which was, I think, was Sacrificial Kill. And it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I can't fucking appreciate it because the production sucks. While this didn't give me headaches like Death Rituals did, I never want to fucking listen to this album again. I never want to do it. In fact, on my second time going through it, I skipped most of the songs because I just couldn't take it anymore. So yeah, don't fucking listen to this album. Nightmares of the Decomposed. Oh, y'all are gonna hate me for this one. I'm putting it in S tier. Okay, let me explain myself. Nightmares goes in S tier because it is the funniest album I've ever fucking listened to in my entire life. It is so bad. If we're being objective, it would go in a tier below Torment, but I love just how bad this album is. Chris Barnes' vocals, the shit production, it just all comes together into one perfect, just comedic package. If you want to laugh, listen to this album. Listen to it. I beg of you. I want everybody in the world to listen to this album because it shows you one, how not to make an album, and two, how to have a fucking good time. It's a great, just ironic, enjoyable album. And finally, we have Killing for Revenge. This album goes in, I'm gonna put it in D tier. I did like it more than Death Rituals. Now, Killing for Revenge makes me sad personally because I was so excited for this album. When I first heard there was a new 6 Feet Under album coming out, I was like, okay, it might just be the same shit. But then they released Know Nothing and Great, which I thought was great, and Ascension, which I thought was like okay, but I've come around to. I think Ascension is my favorite track off the album. Then the album came out, and I was like, this isn't, this is not it. This album, it just meanders too much, and it's so like samey. By like the seventh song, I got tired of the repetitive like thrash riffs. I wanted something like new, you know, and I thought I was getting that with Hostility Against Mankind, but that song sucks. They can't even write slow songs well. The only slow song I actually liked on this album was fucking Neanderthal, and I don't know, this band is killing me. I will say one positive: the solos on this album are amazing. I think they do a great job. Props there. Production is also pretty alright, I would say. I'm not a big fan of the drum shells. I think they sound kind of like tinny. They have power to them, but I just don't like the sound they make, which, you know, take it up with me in the comments. But other than that, this album just it hurts me deeply. Kind of like this entire band, to be honest. Anyway, that's my 6 Feet Under album tier list. You know, and I want to die.